be too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
Welcome to the 3B Video Deep Cut Podcast.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
Aw, yeah. It's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and...
Ted? Hey, Ted? Ted, where the hell's the corks grow? Is evil.
Aw, yeah. Man, we're finally here. You knew it was coming. This is my fucking favorite, my bread and butter. We're back. God damn it.
God damn it.
To Crystal Lake.
We're almost halfway through, but not quite.
Yeah, and we're not at actual Crystal Lake. We're not at Packanack Lodge. We're not at Higgins Haven. No, we're on the complete other side of the lake, which is apparently the biggest fucking lake on the planet.
I mean, New Jersey is the land of lakes, right? Land of lake?
That's a butter, right? Land of Lakes butter?
Yeah.
But,
She's like, butter.
Wasn't true about your mom. But, we're on the other side of the lake. We're at the Jarvis family home, which was used in every movie ever, including Eraser.
And I say one of your other favorite movies of all time? Or was that the previous movie that was the one they used for Zero Boys?
Zero Boys used Higgins Haven, but...
okay, yeah, I was mixing those up.
Lots and lots and lots of movies were filmed in the Jarvis house. And then...
One cabin looks the same as another.
Yes, yeah, it's all the same. And...
It's all the same shit.
In this movie, we get Frank Zito, Joseph Zito.
Frank Zito. Yeah, Joseph's my brother. He made Friday the 13th Part 4 whoop-de shit.
Mm-hmm. Old Zito.
Final chapter, my fucking ass.
Old Zito himself, bringing arguably the most character development. That's why I like this one so much. It's so real life, I guess, likable. Characters that are in all sorts of different ranges of not just meat for the beast, right? A little bit of something for everybody. But
even twins.
Yeah. Ooh, the double mint twins, baby. But
and then we have Rob Lowe's stunt double.
Yeah. Fucking job low.
Ooh. That sounds like a streetwalker's name.
Oh yeah. But Evil, you want to give the folks at home a brief plot synopsis, and then we can jump into this bad boy.
Jason is back. Well, he never really left, but is he dead? Of course not. He is still breathing, and he's coming back for more blood.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Which includes twins, Rob Lowe stunt double,
Fackler,
Crispin Glover, and a few others, but not Corey Feldman.
And Fackler from fucking Police Academy.
Fucking Fackler.
Does not make it.
Don't know anything else he's ever done besides this and the Police Academy movies. But fucking Fackler.
Yeah. And, we talked about it a couple times, but this time, because it was believed to be the last Friday the 13th, they put it in the title. It has to be true. It's the final chapter. So, if it's the final chapter, let's call Tom Savini. He created the movie. He created the monster. Let's let him kill the monster. That's the thought process behind it. Except, let's do fucking 7 more movies.
Like I've heard and believe, the final chapter is always chapter 11. As long as there's a revenue that comes in and it's big bucks, they will keep making these fucking movies.
Yeah.
When they start not being that way, that's when it's fucking really dead.
Mm-hmm. You can't die. Not until the grosses go down. Last Action Hero reference, deep cut. Man, I'm in a great mood.
Sad but true. That is sad but 100% true.
It is. I'm in a great mood. I love this movie more than anything on the planet. This is my go-to comfort Friday the 13th.
You don't even need to ever rewatch this to do a review for it. You can just do this shit in your sleep.
Everything about it is awesome. So let's just start from Jump Street, where
everything is awesome.
We pick up with Jason having an axe in his forehead.
we're at the end of 3. Like, it picks up immediately, Hatchet style, end of 3, end of 4, which is awesome.
Yeah, and which makes them great companion films. If you watch 2, 3, and 4 in a row, pretty awesome. Pretty fucking awesome. And
that's a hell of a weekend.
That is.
In their world.
It really does take place over fucking like 2 or 3 days. So they load Jason up on a gurney and take his ass to the hospital. And like Evil said, is he dead? No, not quite. The hockey mask is metal, so that's how
He's
always
in deep sleep.
Yeah, that's how I always justify it. It's like, well, the hockey mask is metal, and it stopped a bunch of the axe. You know,
most of the axe.
Yeah,
20% went through his skin.
Night of the axe, if you will.
Yeah.
So without the,
you could say he only really felt edge of the axe.
Oh, there it is. Just enough to make it, stick into his forehead a little bit. But he's got that big old hydrocephalic mongoloid skull. So
again, that's a wound that will stay with him forever. Not the wound in the shoulder from the previous movie two back, but this one in his head will stay with him forever.
Including masks that aren't even the same mask having the axe chop in them. But
we're looking at you, Part 8, but we still love you.
Yeah, we love you, Part 8. But so they take him to the hospital. They throw him in the morgue, and which is one of my all-time favorite shots in the movie. Them closing the door and you seeing him breathe. Just a little glimpse of his breath.
Until about 6 or so years ago, never noticed that.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, real subtle, but
Blu-ray helps.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing these movies in high def takes away some of the magic sometimes, but also enhances other parts of the movie. And so Jason gets up. He's not quite done yet. He's got to go home. He's got to go kill off a couple more people. So he's got to kill a couple people in the hospital and then be on his merry way. And Tom Savini lets you know from Jump Street that he is not fucking around when
Jesus Christ,
when Fackler meets his end.
That's the most gruesome maybe murder in the franchise for me. That is vicious.
It's
vicious shit.
And it's the noise too, right? Like the flesh ripping, but also the noise he makes, like oh yeah, it stays with you because you're like, well, that's the end. Like you're done. Like there ain't no coming back. There ain't no maybe he's okay. That dude, his fucking head got twisted off. Like
that's what you get for watching 20-minute workout and trying to get your bang on next to a corpse of a serial killer.
Yeah. All poor life choices, and I think the other thing that I like so much about this movie is I'm a big Halloween 2 fan, and Halloween 2 takes place all at the hospital, and so this movie kind of feels like, well, let's take Jason, put him in that Halloween 2 setting, but not stay there. You know what I mean? So we get just a little bit of Jason in a hospital. It's a nice change of pace, a different setting for him. And
he only kills one nurse.
Yep.
With the name badge R. Morgan, which we're all like, that's a deep cut.
100%.
To Robbie Morgan, the first victim in the franchise proper outside of the flashback kill.
Yep. That is something that not a lot of people pick up on either. So now you know.
Almost. She almost got my brown panty award.
Yeah.
Was that nurse?
But she's a little rude. So
is she? Is she like, we don't need to be... I was like, why? I was like, what am I thinking? Like, why am I letting you seduce me next to a corpse on the job like this? Zip, I'm going back to work. I cannot fault her. But she damn near got it. She doesn't. Someone else gets it. But she damn near got the brown panty.
My brown panty award, I can't think of her name. Why can't I think of her name?
I can't think of her name either.
The one that hooks up with Rob Lowe's stunt double.
Yes, same one.
She's so
like
sweet.
Her.
She's a wonderful person. She's a moral compass. And she doesn't deserve what happens to her, which is what makes this movie so fucking good, right? Is almost all of them don't deserve what happens to them.
Almost.
Yeah. I mean, Teddy's a piece of shit.
Ted could have gone a long time ago. Ted could have gotten his head ripped off by one of the tree branches on the drive there, sticking his head out a window, and I'd have been fine.
But, Judy Aronson, she's kind of snooty, and her boyfriend doesn't really stick by her side. He kind of starts having eyes for one of the twins. So, arguably...
He's just out for whoever's going to give it up to him.
Yeah, so arguably, you see their poor character traits, and you're like, yeah, fuck them.
That's a future cuck relationship right there.
Oh, boy. If they would have made it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. If they were still around, it'd be like, you're going to watch me fuck this other guy, and you're going to watch.
Yeah, you're going to like it.
And then he's going to bring like 2 chicks, and I'm like, now you watch. Well, I'm going to take both of these ones. I'm going to have a threesome, and you're not one of them.
We're doing coke, listening to Love is a Lie by Lion. And then the other thing about this movie, where we finally get to introduce a child to the franchise, because all the movies take place at a summer camp. That's a camp for children, but we never get any children until this movie, and we get young Corey Feldman, still in his cocaine. I believe he was a cocaine abuser even during this movie, even as young as he was.
Well, can you blame him? This kid's like he's like the age of our youngest kid, and he's tasked with the responsibilities of a grown fucking adult in this movie.
Yes.
Tommy, fix the electricity. Tommy, fix the car. What the fuck, man? I can't even do the shit Tommy's required to do in this movie, and I'm 38 years old.
Yep. He knows more about technology and vehicles and electricity and all of this stuff than we
Lift
do.
the hood of the car. Lift the hood of a car, I might as well be looking into the human brain. And like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with this thing. Fix electricity. Like, isn't that what the electricians are supposed to do? Right. Let's call them up.
Yeah. If you had a screwdriver, he's apparently MacGyver, 100%.
Just look at shit and just, hot rod it, just bang the hell of it with a hammer and be like, well, I don't know what to do. Maybe we should call a professional.
But, so this is where the dynamic changes, because now we have a likable child, even though Ted White didn't like him. But,
Ted White's an old country man.
Yeah, but on screen, Corey Feldman's character, Tommy Jarvis, is very likable, which puts a whole different threat to Jason Voorhees, right? Because now we have to worry about this child being murdered, because we didn't know if Friday the 13th would cross that line. Because right off the bat, like we said, with the death of Fackler, the death of the hitchhiker, they're very ruthless, right? So we start to realize we're at the mercy of a madman with this movie. Like, Jason doesn't care.
The whim of a madman.
He's gonna fuck everybody up, and I don't think that a child is gonna slow him down. But this is where we bring in we bring back the "we can outsmart Jason" motif as well.
Yeah, and speaking of that hitchhiker, we also passed by Pamela Voorhees' grave, apparently, which is almost a roadside attraction, it feels like. Like, doesn't feel like a cemetery, it feels like. And on this turnaround, you'll see the grave of Pamela Voorhees, infamous Pamela, who started fires and killed several teenagers in the Crystal Lake area, whose son is still missing. And we have no idea where he is to this day.
Might we actually see dinosaurs on our dinosaur tour? But, and it's true that this movie was the first movie to give her a first name, because in the first Friday the 13th, she's just Mrs. Voorhees.
Mrs. Voorhees.
And it's not until this movie where she becomes Pamela Voorhees. That's 4 movies into the franchise before they name the mom. Like,
yeah,
okay.
And she has a full-fledged part in the first movie. She has her flashback floating head in part 2, and then you have the zombie version of her in the ghost sequence in part 3. So she's been in every movie. Here she is in her, I guess you could say, swan song of sorts. Like, we don't really see or hear from her again for a number of, until we get to, gosh, did we not hear from her again, technically, till we get to Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, that's it. And then the remake.
We hear about her, like she's told in stories in, like, part 8, but we don't ever see anything of Pamela until we get Ham.
Yeah, that's it.
I just realized that in real time. Like, yeah, she's not in any fucking movie. This is her swan song.
Yep.
Even though it's just a tombstone, but still, she's under there.
Yep. Her performance was stone cold, if you will. I'm here all week, folks, but
we're just gonna just shut the door, shut everything down. We're good now. We're ending on a high note. We'll see y'all next week with Friday the 13th Part 5. Good morrow.
Yes. But boy, I know that in all of the documentaries and everything that we've watched, this is another one of those things, just like with part 3 of who's responsible for the hockey mask type of deal. But some stories about part 4 say that Tommy Jarvis's character was modeled after Tom Savini. He's a young kid obsessed with monsters. And then there are other people who are like, nah, we didn't. Like Zito himself is like, I didn't model him after Tom Savini. That's fucking bullshit. We just took a bunch of Tom Savini's crap and put it in his room so we could set deck. Like,
I feel like that. I feel like Zito is telling the truth there. I feel like that is, but that's Tom Savini being
ego,
like,
man.
Yeah, he's gaslighting him, being like, let's just put this shit in there, make him like an effects like crazy kid. Like he in his head, he's like, this is fucking me as a kid, but he's not gonna say it outright to Zito. He's just gonna influence him a little bit, but never tell him like, model it after me.
You know, and I've done this before. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I love Tom Savini.
Fuck him, do it.
But you know, I think he's a hair overrated, and he's a very talented effects guy. But I think some of his stuff is a little overrated, and
I think he knows it too.
Yeah, I also believe that. But he has a very big ego when it comes to stuff, and also I think it's just me as a fan being a little salty, where it's like I expect him to be like this horror maestro. I expect him to love and cherish all of this stuff because he was inspired by Lon Chaney Jr. and stuff. But when you hear interviews with him, you're like, Friday the 13th movies are fucking stupid. He doesn't like them and stuff. And so that's where the bitter fan in me is just slightly jaded. Like, you don't like this, but it was your paycheck.
He's one of the very few guys that we have met. We can say now
multiple.
We've met a good amount of people in the franchises all over, and he's one of those few guys that didn't quite live up to expectations of being a good dude. He wasn't a bad dude.
Right.
He's very businesslike, a very cold businesslike approach to his meeting of fans. Which, I mean, maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. For us, it wasn't really what we were looking for when we go to meet the dude and he's already got the thing we wanted signed. His name, he just signs it, his name, and passes it back before you even, you barely have time to get the guy that takes the money his cash.
Yeah.
You're not even to Tom and he's already got your shit ready for you. Like, he's almost ready to move you down the line conveyor belt style.
Yeah.
Which I guess is more of a big convention type thing, but not really what we're used to. We're used to
standing and bullshit
with us for 5 minutes, please.
Yeah, give us a little something. Very cold and businesslike, and that all kind of adds to where I start to feel jaded and feel like, maybe you are a little overrated, man. But at the same time, I understand the flip side of the coin. He's, how many times a day does someone go, remember Creepshow? That was awesome. And him go, yeah, fucking Creepshow, great.
Yeah,
or
I'll give him that little bit of allowance because he's near 70, and it's like at that point you gotta be like, I really need to manage my time very well. It's like, let's get this shit over with so I can go back and doing what I want to do, because who knows how many years I got left?
Yeah, I don't
20.
Fucking talk about Friday the 13th Part 4 again, you fucking idiot! Get out of my face, But so even though the effects that he does in this movie are fucking groundbreaking, top notch, right?
Can't deny the man's work. It's good.
Yeah, every montage later in the films, every fucking tribute video you ever see about Jason on YouTube or whatever, they're littered with Tom Savini effects, and the most notable is the death of Jason in this movie. It is unmatched, unparalleled, nothing better in across the board, because this franchise is kind of known for dispatching Jason in kind of nonsensical bullshit ways down the road. And this one, to me, is the definitive. Machete to the face, hacked the fuck up, game over.
I feel like that's most slashers have a lot of shit vanishings, and very each one has maybe one good one. But this is also, Part 4 seems to be, we talked about Jenny from Part 2 is kind of the universal favorite final girl. I've also discovered over the last decade that Part 4 is like the cult favorite of the franchise.
Yeah, it's weird.
Most times when it is screened or there is going to be like a marathon where they play a couple of the movies, it is more difficult than not to avoid this movie in particular getting played at screenings and events and stuff, because I had no idea this is one of the most popular movies of the series for a lot of fans.
See, I just changed my mind. I don't like it anymore because I don't want to be like everybody else. So fuck this movie. No, I'm just kidding.
You like this stuff for your own reasons.
Put my gatekeeper glasses on.
You like this movie for your own reasons, and that's fine. What just is surprising, and I'll be the same. Like, I know other movies where it's the same, where I'm in the boat with other folks, but it was just interesting to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is strange.
It fascinates me, but it is just, this is one that everyone seems to be like, that one.
Yeah.
We like that one best.
Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of the Dream Warriors for Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
Dream Warriors is the most popular of the Elm Street by the mass.
By the popular vote.
Populace. Yeah, and I feel like Part 4 and Friday the 13th gets that for this franchise.
Well, and for me, which I know we've talked about multiple times, and we'll get to it when we cover 7, but you that's your quintessential Jason look, is that 7 look. Like, it doesn't get
7's my shit.
It doesn't get any better than that. Like, that's really scary, zombified, like, Jason. That's the best look for that era of Jason, right?
That's Ted White's Jason if he fucked Tarman from Return to the Living Dead.
and for me, Ted White's Jason, like we already talked about 2 weeks ago, talking about Part 3, is the beginning of the olive shirt, the khaki pants, that look. But Ted White makes it so scary. And I don't know what it is, because he's not a big thick guy like Broker, and they didn't give him that big like triangle traps. He doesn't have that big of a upper body in this movie. He's a little bit more lean, but the big thick black fingernails and the kind of like, it's not really a run, it's like a trot. It's fast, but
he's selling the leg injuries.
Yeah, for sure. But there's things that he does, like when he has Trish cornered upstairs, and that whole like cat and mouse little juke thing that he does.
I think it's because he's a country guy. Like, he's a very, like, even Feldman's like, he's like a very big country dude. Like, hey man, how you doing, man?
Yeah, Old West.
I feel like that. That Old West country boy lifestyle kind of seeps out in his body language, which I think does.
Because it's kind of gangly, right? Like,
yeah, like he's like, you could see like this dude could wrestle cattle to the ground with his bare hands in real life. So that kind of dude in a one-on-one fight with a teenage female, not really too much of an opposing risk.
Yeah, game over. But they do a lot of cool shit in this movie with him, which early Friday the 13th movies we've talked about already, because we're in the early Friday movies, but where we don't get a lot of Jason until the final act. But this movie, we start to we crank him up a little bit, because we get the 2 kills in the hospital, we get a good look at him. But then when it's the hitchhiker death, it's feet and arms. We don't see the mask. So we kind of dip away. We give you Jason for a hot minute at the beginning, and then we're like, okay, now we're back to like POV kills, a lot of stalking, a lot of slinking. But later in the film, this is when we start to get these really imposing shots of Jason. And the one that always sticks out to me is when he kills Jared Leto's stunt double in the shower.
Drop the old soap, old buddy.
But that shot of him while he's smashing the face, and the steam and everything, and it's a really close shot of Jason's face. It's almost the full frame is Jason's face.
Oh, it's a Wayne's World extreme.
Yeah, it's in your face. It's intense. It's intimidating. And then from then on, we get a lot of that, like him standing in a doorway, or him blocking a path, or walking through an open door towards the end when he comes back after Trish. And it's different from the previous films because it's so much more intimidating. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know, like, whether it's the way that it's shot or what it is, but it's like
probably it's the cocktail of all of it, because it's the way that it's shot. This dude, still, even though he's not, super big, he's still bigger than Part 2 was. And you're kind of like, you might subconsciously still be writing that how big he looked in Part 3. Like, he's probably not too much different from Part 3's look. So probably the combination of his personal body language of what he brought to the character, how they shot it, and just your psyche thinking that he is a bigger and badder influence that he's gotten over the last 2 movies. All that combined just makes a terrifying fucking villain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty fucking spot on. Like, and then again, we have the returning motif of the storms. Storm coming back.
Yes.
And it's a very heavy atmosphere. It's great because this movie starts out so lighthearted with these vacationing teens, and it's cool. It's cool to see them not realize how in over their head they really are.
Like, this could be a car full of kids that came off the Porky's set, and they just got lost and went to the wrong fucking resort. Which I don't know what fucking part of the lake we are on now, because we're on another part where it's a home establishment.
Yeah.
Part of the lake. Like, this is not the training ground part of the lake. This is not the official camp part of the lake. This is in the we own property or summer property area of the lake. Because we have two houses that are
in very close proximity of one another.
Close proximity, which I want to believe, like, maybe they've just been remodeled, but these are the same houses we'll get to when we get to Part 7, like, because we get to more residential areas in this area that are just summer homes, summer not. And I don't know who the fuck owns the house that these kids all go into. Like, who's springing to get this place? I'm assuming Crispin Glover, since we do believe if you go to our YouTube channel, you can watch our commentary for this movie. We do believe that he only thing that Crispin Glover brings for this whole weekend is a suitcase that's about the size of a shoebox.
It's like a picnic basket, I swear to God.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that thing is full of cocaine and records. That's all that's in that. That's all he packed for this weekend. Because, we didn't pack no suits.
Yeah. Oh, no, we have no suits. Skinny dip.
He's such a fucking goober. He never, like, half-asses anything. He will do something balls out one way or another with everything he does.
Well, he's a great fucking character actor. And again, I'm gonna go back to that so many times, is all of the people in this movie, from Corey Feldman all the way to Crispin Glover to Fackler, all of these, Judy Aronson, all of these character actors, they're very likable. They're very like, it just sucks you in, and you want
relatable.
Yeah, and you want to go with these kids, and you want to see them hook up, and it does play, like you said, like Porky's. It plays like a straight teen comedy, a situational comedy type of deal, and you want to see which relationships are going to blossom, which are going to break up, because you got the cute girl who we gave the Brown Panty Award to. She's making her move, and she's about to get to sleep with the most handsome dude in the house, and you're just rooting. You're rooting for him,
and you get the creepy part of the show where I'm gonna go, where you get one of my favorite shots in the movie is they decide, what maybe set a weird precedent for me. I'm like, I need to do that. I need to get me a lady in the shower. Did you get the love Megan scene with the Rob Lowe stunt double and her in the shower, and you get one of my favorite shots of some booty cheeks pressed against the shower glass wall, and I'm like, yeah. Evil likes that.
Yeah, and movies, shower sex seems awesome, and real life shower sex is I don't know. It's not up there. It's in my experience.
It is just fine and dandy on my end of things, but it's your other halves that's like, this is not like it is in the movies. at all.
I don't have a glass like shower door either, so I just have a curtain. So you bump into that, we got nothing to stabilize ourselves.
See, I used to have this almost like an exact glass shower door.
So you fell
just
through
like
that motherfucker.
I didn't know. It wasn't my butt cheeks pressed against that thing, that's for sure. Otherwise, it would have been a fucking homicide-looking scene. I would have looked like Rob Lowe at Rob Lowe's death scene there if I was pressed against that, just half busted out of it and shit.
Oh, man. That's glorious.
Some behind-the-scenes stuff you didn't think you was getting when we're talking Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter.
Let us know about shower sex, yay or nay.
Yeah, what's your experience? Tell us.
They might not be able to tell us. They might have got murdered in the shower, so I guess they can't listen either, but whatever. I didn't think that through.
Dead men tell no tales.
Yep. And then another one of my all-time favorite things, which you can't talk about Friday the 13th, Part 4 and not talk about it, is the dude who is apparently there to save the day,
that's been on the hunt for 2 days now.
You know, my sister Sandra, she was a really great kid, which literally happened 2 fucking days before this movie.
2 days ago.
She hasn't even been buried.
She's not been buried. She's not had an autopsy probably even done yet, if at most. Like, they probably don't even have the information divulged out necessarily to all the victims till they have 100% identification, because remember, this is the 80s. ID is not exactly as easy as it is today.
Right.
And yeah, this dude, he's been on the hunt since, the movies have been out. But if you're going by the movies timeline, this fucker has been, he's living out the first 48.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to get Jason, otherwise this dude may never get caught. Because after 48 hours, they're just like, shit, this one, we're moving on.
And they set him up to be this very heroic type. He's suave, swoops right in and makes moves on Trish. They like each other right off the bat. Because let's face it, if you live on the lake and you never have any contact with anybody, the first dude who screwdrivers your fucking engine, you're going to want to screw drive his engine. I don't know.
Yeah, and he makes like friends with the little brother, which is a classic like, Wedding Crashers move. Like, befriend the kid. He's got to show off all of his bits. And then you have another inconsistency, because you have, like, you see that he's like packing all this stuff. And like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I got this rifle, in case of bears. Mm-hmm. And Feldman's like, there ain't no fucking bears out here.
What?
But rewind 2 movies back to when his sister was alive. Apparently, bears were a thing.
It's bear country. New Jersey bear population is fucking through the roof. I don't know.
So just don't think about the time inconsistencies with bears and this dude being on the hunt, because it only makes sense in like real life movie time,
right?
Not
2 years
not
worth.
Shit. Yeah, 2 years worth of time, not 2 fucking days.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's a goddamn mess, but that's okay. But, they set him up like he's going to be this saving grace. Again, we're leaning into this. Maybe we're going to have multiple final people. Are we going to have a final girl and 2 final guys, or what?
He's set up to be the Kyle Reese of this movie.
Yeah.
And he kind of is.
Up until he has to do anything of merit, and he fucking dies.
With a garden tool. Like the garden tool that Rod is fucking with the kids with in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Intense, huh?
Picture that thing that Rod used as a fucking scare prop is what that brings this dude down.
It takes like an hour and a half, too.
Yeah, he is hacking away at this guy for 40 minutes at least.
Yeah,
and his only defense is, oh shit, he's fucking killing me.
Killing. Like, after a while, you think he would stop yelling, he's killing me, and maybe, like, call an ambulance. This is really hurting. Call an ambulance.
There's a lot of blood. Everything's sticking out. I'm going to just push it back in. I've got maybe 12 minutes left.
Yeah.
Delete my browser history.
And then, again, just like previous installments, Trish makes the run for it, gets back to the house. Quick, let's barricade the house. Let's do all this hooplery. And then we cut to a wide, and when we cut to a wide, you fucking damn well better know what that means. It means a body is crashing through a fucking window at a high rate of speed, and he comes crashing in.
Which means after the 48 swings with that garden tool to kill Rob, he's got to drag him up the broken steps. Mind the third step, it's a bitch. Drag him from one house to the other, and then hurl this fucker like 6 feet through the air through a fucking window.
In the rain. So you can't get your feet planted.
Always in the rain.
Because it's muddy.
No, and it's all like, it's like the back, like the behind the scenes bit is like that, and the next scene are all like several beats past when they were, I guess they were supposed to, like him coming through the window. They're like, all right, we're supposed to back up to the window now, and then Jason's supposed to bust through the glass and grab Feldman. And they're like, beat, no Jason. And then like 4 beats later, then bam, there he comes through, and then you get the true reaction of Corey Feldman getting grabbed because he was not legitimately expecting it at that time. Like, ah! Like you can see him shit his little pants right there.
Oh, it's an excellent sequence too. The whole last half hour of Friday the 13th Part 4 is some of the best horror movie sequences ever. Like true slasher awesomeness, right? Throw the body through the window, grab a hold of Feldman.
I do have a question because in this section we do have one kill that I do not understand at all. And can you shed any light on our Brown Panty Achievement Award winner, how she is killed with this fire axe?
See, it's always been muddy to me, but I assume he's on the other side.
It doesn't make any sense to me because how I see it is she's fucking banging on a door. You see something bust through the door that looks like it's the head of the axe. And then you see an entire axe with the long fucking like 2-foot handle sticking out of her chest. And I'm like, how does that work?
So how I always thought it was, he's on the other side of the door, knows that she's trying to open it, so he just hacks through, and it's a lucky shot that it actually hits her. So that's how I see it, is he's on the other side of the door. That's the only way it can work, unless he's laying on the ground, like in front of her while she's trying to open the door, and then he just goes, yeah.
But to me, it feels like the hole on the door is probably only as wide as the axe handle, like the actual axe blade is. But you get the axe with the whole full-fledged handle on it, which is like that 2-foot long handle there. So I'm like, how the fuck does the handle that's attached to the axe go through the door how it is and be implanted how it is on her chest? Like, watch it and you'll be like, what?
Yeah. Well, I think it's because, when she fell back, she slid it through the hole in the door, right? But it's cut together so quickly that it's like, it is a little perplexing. So I totally see what you're saying. But yeah, that death has always kind of been a head scratcher for me.
But I mean, the rest of them, I mean, you get the, like, they always say Bruce Campbell is the king of acting in reverse, but Crispin Glover gives him a good run for his fucking money with his death, because, man, he might have the death of this movie.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's good.
And he's all shot in reverse because he gets he's looking for the corkscrew. He gets a corkscrew jammed into his hand. And then that's painful enough. But as he's turning around, he gets a fucking meat cleaver in his face. In order to shoot that, they had to have the cleaver in his face and pull it out, and him acting in reverse. And it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's top notch. It's one of the best deaths in the movie for sure. And then we move to Teddy getting killed, which this is
finally.
Yeah. The editing of the final chapter has always kind of confused me, because it's like he kills Crispin Glover in the kitchen and then goes outside and climbs up the side of the house to yank the twin out the window. And then
he's got to use morphability because it's a pain in the dick if he were actually going in and out of the house as much as he is for how he kills people.
Yeah. And then after he kills the girl out the window, we cut back to him in the kitchen, standing over Crispin Glover's body to go into the front room to kill Teddy. So it's edited together weird. Here's how you solve it. You kill the girl upstairs first.
The twin.
And then you come
Twin
downstairs and you kill Crispin Glover and immediately after kill Teddy. That's all they had to do to fix the edit. And it's so jarring. But,
it makes you think there's multiple Jasons on the premises killing people.
But then again,
which is a terrifying thought in and of itself.
Like we said, don't try to inject any sort of reality or thought process to it, because that's when it gets dangerous and you start going, well, this is fucking stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So just go in and have some fun.
That's when you either get angry or you're going to start laughing because it's funny.
Yeah.
And we're on the funny side of the spectrum. Being like, man, that's a pain. He's got to climb up to the second story to pull this bitch out a window, then go all the way the fuck downstairs, back inside the house to take care of Crispin Glover, which I have the experience now of seeing this at screenings now a couple of times. The one thing in this movie that gets the biggest reaction out of an audience is Crispin Glover's corpse nailed to that fucking door. And then when Jason comes by and pulls him off of it, and you see the skin just rip out of the skin between his thumb and finger, like just rip it down like a fucking shower.
The audience pops
every time. Yeah, they're like, ew.
It is a great scene, and it's another thing that I love.
Funny that that's a thing that stops someone from getting out the door. Like, oh shit, I can't leave. He's blocking it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's another like really funny thing about these movies, because Jason does this a lot. Sticking bodies up in weird places to kind of herd his prey in a different direction.
He is. He's fucking herding. He's straight up sheep herding.
So she won't walk past a body that's fucking railroad tie tacked to a door, but she'll bust out a window and climb out a window.
Oh, that is a fucking intense fall. Even though you can kind of see the crash pad underneath the grass and shit, it's still like, Jesus, that's hardcore.
That's a hell of a bump.
ECW.
Where's New Jack when you need him? Oh wait, sorry, he's not here.
He's hanging out with Pamela Voorhees.
Woof. Good God. But we spent a little over 40 minutes rambling about the craziness of this movie. Anything else you want to get to before we move on to our next segment, Evil?
Absolutely. I do have one question for you. What did you think of Tom Savini's original idea for the planned death of Jason?
I don't like it. You can go ahead and elaborate for the audience if they don't know what it was, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, they compromise. In the movie, we get him throwing a TV on Jason's head when he's busting through a door, but at one point in the movie, that when he was going through that door, Jason was going to get a microwave put on his head that's hooked up to like a little amplifier dial that Tom Savini's like, we could turn this on 1 and melt the toy soldier and turn it up to 10, and then you have, I don't know, fucking World War II level, catastrophe kind of shit. So his thing was, we'll put on Jason's head, crank the dial to 10, and cook Jason's head from the inside, which, I mean, it sounds like it would be an interesting special effects challenge.
Why would Corey Feldman have that in his room? What's the purpose?
To ward off possible kidnapping rapists if they ever decide to make a Last House on the Left remake.
There you go. Which was stolen from the movie Evil Laugh, which was directed by Two Chocolate Bars Joey himself, aka the Molesta Man, whatever you want to call him. So we'll get into that.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
Next episode we start my holy trinity of one of my three favorite Fridays in the franchise. But that's for next episode. That's not what we're doing this week. This week we're still on Friday the 13th Part 4, and now that we've talked and we got to just gush over this movie, time to do something I'm sure Roger is not looking forward to one damn bit. We're going to get to some people who don't like this movie one single bit. And so much they had to go to Amazon and tell us how much they disliked it. It's time to get nasty. It's time for the Amazon 1-star reviews.
Hated it.
All right, first up is Captain America himself. On April 11th, 2020, he says 1 star. What?
What?
Who can't love a cheesy, unrealistic, over-the-top slasher flick?
Me, that's who.
That's the point. But this is hilarious. There has to be at least some effort. The killer can have the weakest motivation, but there at least has to be some motivation. There has to be an iota of a plot. You see, movies are supposed to be for the audience. If you like the movie, great, more power to you. But there was little effort put into this. There were 2 writers? There was a director? Crispin Glover delivers because of course he can. Corey Feldman shaved his head, hysterical. Jason is somehow psychic. He kills Sam in the shower, runs outside, throws an axe through the front door, counting on his ex-victim to be there. Did the dog jump out the window? Was he pushed? Some movies should leave questions unanswered. 2001, Unforgiven, No Country for Old Men. Perhaps I am just thinking too hard.
I think so. Buddy.
What's worse? What's worse is the filmmakers believed audiences would enjoy this. It is not good. It is not so bad it's good. This is very, very bad. And I've seen Grandma's Boy.
Hey, Grandma's Boy is fun. Wait till we cover that.
Apparently, this gentleman does not like fun.
Yeah, well, get out of here.
Fun ain't got no place here.
Get out of here with your bullshit.
Next up, we got Mark Kalmbach.
All right.
On March 7th, 2005. 1 star. Another fantastic flop in the Friday the 13th franchise. I enjoyed watching film series to see how they evolve or devolve. That curiosity of mine is the only thing that enabled me to watch this movie, watch this miserable entry after the 3rd installment, which was bad, 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 bad. Jason kills a bunch of people again for no apparent reason. Some little kid who's really into monsters shaves his head in an effort to resemble Jason. His sister whacks Jason with a machete. End of movie. This one is mind-numbingly D-U-L-L, even compared to number 3. The only plus to this one is at least half-heartedly tries to have a bit of plot. The producers had taken one too many clips from the well for this one. Creativity would come later in the series, but not here. It was a good idea to finally kill Jason. Should I bother mentioning that Crispin Glover, Back to the Future, is in this one?
Guess what? They didn't really kill him, buddy.
Yeah, he'll be back in the next one, but it'll be a different actor. He'll be hung upside down and a lot of prosthetic makeup on. And we'll say it's Crispin Glover, but it's not Crispin Glover. All right. Next up is Scott B. Perry on September 8, 2002. Boring. Obviously, I didn't like the movie, but the film is pretty dull and the plot line is very empty. It makes you just want to fast forward to the death scenes. It's that bad. Although, I did think the ending was cool. Only for serious fans for the Friday the 13th movies.
Well, I mean, that wasn't so bad, I guess.
No, not so bad.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the last one here from Darragh Murray, or Darragh Murray, D-A-R-R-A-G-H. Darragh Murray on, get this, January 11th, 2000.
Woo-wee, that is an oldie. From the vault.
That is officially now an almost 22-year-old review.
Get fucked.
Because remember, January 11th, so he just left the 90s, man. We're into the new millennium, and he's like, you know what? This fucking movie from the 80s, it's time to get it.
Yeah.
He says 1 star, and it's an embarrassment to the horror film industry.
Okay.
I don't understand. I hired this film purely for the fact that the main character, the psychotic Jason, would finally get his comeuppance. I only hoped and prayed in my mind, and for the writers, that this would turn out to be a better sequel for them, and they could be remembered for classics and not for embarrassing films. Unfortunately, my prayers went to waste. Like that he did this, he didn't know there were movies after this movie.
I don't know.
Despite warnings of notorious camp innocent lovers, friends, and others, enter the cap only to be slain by the seemingly invincible Jason Voorhees. This time, Tommy, Corey Feldman, his debut movie, is the one determined to stop the psychotic fiend once and for all after his mother is brutally murdered by the killer. Can Jason be stopped once and for all? We will see.
Was that a goddamn promo? That's ridiculous.
He kind of goes into a promo territory at the end, but this dude, 21 years ago, this movie was still like almost 20 years old then.
Yeah.
And dude was like, I don't know if there's movies after this one.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know, man.
we were gearing towards Jason X in 2 years from when that review came out, and this dude's like, I don't know if there's gonna be 6 more of these.
Go to any video store. Do your research, buddy. Wowza.
Even then, you should know that. Go to a video store then, and you would have known that.
Yep, yeah.
You would have seen the rest of the fucking movies on the shelf. What the fuck?
Unless you went to that video store that was that Patrick Ray had, you know, where all the movies weren't in order, so he would go around and put them in order on the shelf.
No.
No.
Not unless I'm getting paid, but I understand it.
Yes. Well, that's the end of the 1-star reviews, huh?
That is the epitome of the 1-star reviews. Not too terrible.
They didn't hurt my feelings nearly as bad as I thought they were going to.
Not too bad. Well, I tried to find ones that would be more easygoing on the ears than not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there were a couple that were really kind of digging, but they didn't really. I didn't think they were show worthy, so I just passed on by.
Like, get these out of my face.
I thought for sure an embarrassment to the horror industry might get you a little bit.
Nah, I mean, you can say what you want, I guess, you motherfucker.
I've sharpened you up to the harsh realities of the Amazon reviews.
They're bullshit. That's what they are.
Bullshit. Oh, not too much though. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little. You got an attitude problem, yeah, but it's just a little.
All right. Well, I suppose that means it's time for another one of our favorite segments. One of our
Deep Cut podcast exclusive only segments where we play the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's all about the game. Now you playing a jumping Jesus Christmas shits.
Holy Jesus jumping Christmas shit. Holy Jesus goddamn.
Man, heaven help if we ever meet Fackler at any kind of event, because he's going to have to remember to sign all of that.
Oh, yeah, that's happening. So, brief plot synopsis of our prop game is you got to pick a prop from the movie, but it can't be a well-known prop, so you can't say Jason's hockey mask, because that's a cop-out.
Be creative, goddammit.
And make it a deep cut. I mean, after all, you're listening to the Deep Cut podcast on your favorite podcasting network, so you might as well make it a deep cut.
/Cast Podcast Network, check us out.
They are checking us. They're listening, yeah.
But check out the whole library of the previous shows, and maybe check out other shows when you burn through all of ours and you don't want to re-listen for the 4th time.
Yes. Unless you're super diehard and you just want to listen to us do this episode over and over and over.
Just if you do, just make sure to delete and then re-download, so we get the points for the download.
I don't even know how podcasts work, so
I think that's how it works. I think you get points for the download. Once you got the download, fuck it, don't matter what you do with it. Once you downloaded it, we got you by the balls.
Yeah. I have no idea. I'm too old to understand technology, but
I've listened to a lot of podcasts, so I think I know a little. not much, but a little bit. Just like my attitude problem, it's just a little.
Just a little one. Okay, so as far as a prop goes from this movie, there are hundreds,
millions.
Yeah, there's so many good props in this movie. That makes it very difficult for me, dude.
Would you like me to go first then while you're picking?
I will let you go first because I have been struggling with this.
Well, once we did our commentary, it was simple, clear as day for me. I want the Crispin Glover record cocaine suitcase or basket case, whatever it is that he's got that he's carrying with him into this place. Because this is a weekend trip. Dude carries a case that's big enough to fit, a pair of shoes in, which I'm confident is just filled with cocaine and records. Because that's his fucking jam when they put that on the record player. Is like, yeah, love is alive, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Which I guess behind the scenes that was really AC/DC's Back in Black playing. Which is fucking awesome. I'd love to have another cut where we actually have AC/DC on the soundtrack. But yeah, I want Crispin Glover's shady briefcase that he brings in with him, or basket case, wherever the fuck it is he's got. I know there's notorious items in there.
Okay, well, I think that the prop that I would take
Just one.
would be
We're gonna burn the rest.
Corey Feldman's hand puppet.
Oh shit, yeah.
Because I love that thing. I always thought that scene was amazing, and you and I both grew up in the the 80s and the 90s, and we had Boglins. You have a Boglin on your fucking desk right now. That's what it reminds me of, is like a better Boglin. So I'm like, man, I would kill to have that fucking thing.
If I didn't have the case, the other thing I would want would be very similar. I'd want that weird mask that Feldman has on when he's playing video games.
The alien mask?
Because that, of all the fucking things in the world, this is, how long is this? A 90-minute movie? Mm-hmm. All the shots in the movie you could fucking pick from, but I know on the back of the VHS of this, they decided to put the picture of him playing the fucking games with the mask on.
Yeah.
Which makes you go, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Is there aliens in this movie?
Yeah. Well, you may very well, you won't be able to get the one from the movie, but I believe Trick or Treat Studios is putting that mask out. Some company is putting that mask out. So your dreams can become a reality.
I may do that. Maybe we'll play Friday the 13th the game, and I'll wear that mask
The
during
whole
a playing
time.
of a live stream. Yeah, the entire time.
You got 35.
But I'm just like, you could have picked any frame to use for this, any frame at all, and they picked that may be the worst possible one. Like, that's the most misleading shit on earth. One picture on the back of the VHS, and it's him wearing the fucking alien
Which
mask.
is what used to get me all the time. I told this story before because I'd be like, I want to rent the one with Corey Feldman. So I would go to the grocery store, and I would pick up 5. And 5 has the picture of Jason with the black or the blue, chevrons. But the synopsis also says something about Tommy Jarvis. The whole synopsis is Tommy Jarvis on the back of that VHS. So I'd be like, this is the one where he fights the kid. And I'd rent fucking part 5, and I'd go home, and I'd get Corey Feldman for like the first 2 minutes, and then it was some other dildo.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Pissing me
I did
off.
it again. Fuck.
God damn it. And that got me for like a couple years in my youth. Every time I would go to rent it and be like, damn it, I
Got him again.
son of a bitch. And so
You wonder, written part 5 again? Like, no, I want part 4. You written part 5. No, it's part 4. Corey Feldman's in it. All right, kid.
and also, the Friday the 13th franchise and The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror is what finally taught me Roman numerals. So
That and WrestleMania for
there
me.
you go, yeah. So thank you, Friday the 13th franchise.
Teaching you shit. It's teaching you things. It's educational.
Everything I ever learned, I learned from the Friday the 13th franchise, which is why I'm such a great person. No.
Yeah, only so many kills that we can be accounted for.
Yep. But on that note, since we've done both games, we've covered the movie. Final thoughts, I guess, is just that obviously this is my favorite Friday the 13th. We've done a commentary for it. We've covered this movie in multiple formats, every way possible.
Oddly, we haven't done a live stream yet.
Not yet. So
Not yet.
eventually
In time.
we'll get a full 2-hour take on everything that we want to cover.
Yeah.
But I love this movie, and if you haven't seen it, or you haven't seen it in a long time, dust it off, give it another go, because it's for me the high point in the franchise.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. It's popular for some reason. It's one that everyone goes to, so check it out and enjoy. These are all fucking fun movies, so go see it, have a good time, eat your popcorn, because this is a popcorn movie.
Not a bad one in the bunch as far as I'm concerned. But
Nope.
on that note, I suppose we should probably get going, because after all, there's a lot of movies out there. Somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
Think I'm in love. What? Nothing.
Can't hear you sing, so sing.